Meet Sassy Outwater, Director, MABVI.
We really specialize in working with people who aren't served by other agencies. And to that end, we have the Vibrant program. We step in and provide that instruction with one-on-one blind or low vision volunteers.
Managing a variety of programs.
We try to provide a variety of techniques, technologies, and services to help people continue to lead full and satisfying and independent lives dictated by their choices and desires. It's a lot, but my job is just to kind of put people in touch with people to help them kind of get all of this done.
Sassy is an advocate for the blind and visually impaired.
The silver tsunami, as they call it, will be doubling in the next 15 years. There's going to be so many more of us who need those of us who are already here to be able to adjust to that. So don't be afraid to share what you already know and what you can do from an advocacy and activism perspective. We all need to come together to get through this.
And an Aira user.
I do think Aira is redefining how people do blind because it's giving us more and more autonomy. There's no one right way to do blind.
Joining Aira for a new and innovative program.
But then they said something that really intrigued me. They were reaching out to employers to offer various types of support. Aira looked like a really positive solution for those of us at our agency who are blind or low vision.
Aira and Blind Abilities offer a peek at this new program and an up-close and personal look at the woman who helped make it happen. And now, join Jeff Thompson and me for a fascinating chat with Sassy Outwater.
Welcome to Blind Abilities. I'm Jeff Thompson.
And I'm Pete Lane. This morning we're speaking with Sassy Outwater. Sassy is the director of the Massachusetts Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired, also known as MABVI. Good morning, Sassy. Welcome to Blind Abilities.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Sassy, tell us a little bit about your duties and responsibilities as the director of MABVI.
As director of MABVI, I oversee several different programs that we run. We have an occupational therapy program for low vision rehabilitation, where we go out and we have, I believe right now, 18 occupational therapists across the state who see people in their homes and help them have a safe home environment for vision loss and other disabilities. We also see patients with brain injury. So our therapists are qualified to work with people in a variety of disabilities and medical settings. We also have an O&M program, mainly for blind individuals who also have developmental disabilities or other disabilities. We do work with some people who are also blind with no additional disabilities, but we really specialize in working with people who aren't served by other agencies. And to that end, we have the Vibrant program, which serves seniors who are just losing their vision or other people who cannot get traditional assistive technology instruction. We step in and provide that instruction with one-on-one blind or low vision volunteers who are giving of their time to teach people who have no other way to obtain instruction. And we have staff supervisors who are able to help with that program. So I run these various programs. I also oversee the volunteer match program that we have, where we have volunteers who are trained and vetted throughout the state who go in and work with blind or low vision people to accomplish daily tasks, whether it be active living, going to the gym or running or getting out and doing sports or walking or attending concerts, to reading mail, going to the store, things like that. So we try to provide a variety of techniques, technologies, and services to help people continue to lead full and satisfying and independent lives dictated by their choices and desires.
Wow.
It's a lot, but my job is just to kind of put people in touch with people to help them kind of get all of this done, just kind of oversee everything and make sure that everything is running smoothly. So it's a lot of fun. No 2 days are the same, and I'm kind of all over the state seeing to various programs.
I've heard about your Vibrant program. It's exciting, and your volunteer network seems to be very robust.
For several years, the state of Massachusetts has been trying to figure out how to get technology instruction for seniors, assistive tech instruction for seniors, and they hadn't been able to procure funding or ability to do that. Then the Massachusetts Councils on Aging got involved, and they were able to send out RFPs for 3 grants that they had to start up technology training centers throughout the state. And we got 2 out of 3 of those grants. And we started the Vibrant program, which pairs blind or low vision. Primarily, we have a couple sighted volunteers, but mostly we have blind or low vision volunteers training seniors on assistive technology. And then we have staff supervision from trained and qualified assistive technology instructors to step in and kind of help out but it allows us to share resources and kind of get the community to help handle a problem that there's no other funding or resources available to handle, in a way that allows us for job training and internship opportunities for blind or low vision adults, and then train seniors on iOS technology, JAWS, Zoom text, all the assistive tech stuff that they need to deal with vision loss.
Yeah, that's a great program because it's usually the seniors that get the shaft when all the budgets are, limited, and the federal government really doesn't provide anything for the seniors based on a state type of funding.
This is a really controversial model in that the blind and low vision population faces such a high unemployment rate. But at the same time, I kind of went, you know what? We need to also step forward and take care of our own, and there's no funding out there. I think we can do that. And it's hard for us to find volunteer work where we're not facing some level of discrimination or fear or, other issues as blind or low vision people. So it was kind of my idea to take that in a new direction and provide internship opportunities and provide job training experience, and then have present qualified and paid instructors to help kind of back up that process so that everybody felt supported and there was kind of variety of resources going into this.
Even the volunteer aspect of it helps people because instead of just doing nothing, they're volunteering, they're out there, they're being active, and that kind of stimulates them to be looking for jobs too.
And it's a sustainable program. We're still in the first year of the program, so we're still measuring outcomes and gathering data on it and making sure it's effective. But it's something that anyone in the nation, at any senior center or library facility or something like that, can roll out in their community. In the dementia and healthy aging movement, they're rolling out these projects called memory cafes where people can get dementia care and kind of assistance with daily life tasks in a public setting. And so we're looking at talking about partnering with them for some vibrant instruction. It really doesn't take a lot for a volunteer to go out to anywhere in the community with an iPad and sit down and work with seniors on iPhone or iPad training, for the basics of Zoom or starting voiceover lessons. Those are kind of the biggest things that are being asked for in training right now. So it's a really sustainable model, and that's what we kind of wanted.
When Pete and I met up, we both had we both enjoyed teaching and stuff, and we always think that we teach from the beginning. We don't stand on a pedestal at all. We teach like no one's ever turned the machine on before. That approach really helps everybody.
It does. And when you're 85, we'll get really far in a lesson, and then the next week we have to start the same lesson over. But eventually it sinks in, I think, past the surface memory and becomes kind of a secondary, mode of operation. So it's how far can you get into either dementia or memory loss or stroke recovery and still be able to reach someone and help them learn assistive technology. And so far I haven't met anyone that can't at least engage with it in some capacity.
That's
with
promising.
Support or without. So, yeah.
Well, even getting past the fear and anxiety of technology in general.
That's a huge one.
A huge one.
I joke that we are 60% therapist and 40% nerd because so much of it is the emotional process of vision loss. And then the rest of it is the process of not fearing the piece of technology and fearing your interaction with it. And the volunteers and the instructors have to be able to support through that emotional process of grieving the loss of sight, being frustrated that now this is how your life is working, and getting past that initial frustration to discover actually there are some huge benefits. And so there's a huge emotional component to technology use when you have a disability, I think.
I remember when I was teaching that one thing that I used to say to people when they ask about what teaching is about, I said, well, 50% of it is teaching woodworking. I taught woodworking to the blind students. And the other 50% is like life 101. They may not be ready for accepting the blindness yet, or they might have some other disabilities too that interfere with, straightforward teaching. So like you said, repeating the steps. And it's always nice when you have others in the classroom or others that are reinforcing it, engaging with them and learning from their peers, the groups. That's always a good thing. So you're doing a good thing out there.
We're working on it. We offer a variety of services, and they kind of all dovetail together to kind of create this integrative wraparound service model of care, because so much of the blindness industry as a whole is changing, further, whether it be rehabilitation, O&M, the funding models, the service models, and the technology is changing from the past 70 years that it's kind of held steady at. And so now we have to adapt and change our service provision to keep up with that. So incorporating more mental health support, incorporating more medical support like, occupational therapy, incorporating more technology training. And then that peer support piece, I think, is so important, where you have other blind people who can just look you right in the face and say, I get it. I've been there, or I am here, or, you're not dealing with this alone, I think are huge pieces of being able to give valuable and useful assistive technology instruction to anyone, but especially to seniors.
Is the Team with a Vision part of that volunteer philosophy?
Team with a Vision is part of our marketing department's efforts, and it's entering its 25th anniversary year this year.
Team with a Vision. Grit. Strong. Dedication. What does the Boston Marathon mean to you?
Go Team with a Vision! Go, go!
It's people running to raise money for MABVI, but it's also blind runners partnering with sighted guides to run, to raise awareness for healthy living and active living as a blind, low vision person. And it's also bringing awareness to various things. Like last year, it was technology and healthy living with Eric running the marathon using Aira.
Today, a marathon first, courtesy of Eric Manzer, will be the first time a visually impaired runner will attempt a marathon while using a remote guide. And joining me now is Eric Manzer.
Yeah, I'm using today something called Aira. It's an emerging technology, very exciting for blind and visually impaired people. What Aira does is it pairs a camera that's mounted on smart glasses.
It's also raised awareness of the power of partnership and the power of volunteer assistance. So we use it in a variety of capacities, but people come together and run the Boston Marathon together. And it's just a really incredible experience to watch all of that happen.
Now, you guys had Eric out there and you got to meet the Aira agent, Jessica, for the first time.
We had our annual event where our board hears updates on what's been going on. We are a nonprofit, so they hear updates on what's been happening with us. And Eric came up and told his story of running the marathon with Aira's assistance. And we had flown Jessica in, and she snuck into the back of the room and surprised him. He had no idea that she was actually here. He connected to Aira. She started describing the room that she could see through the Aira glasses. And then she said, "Oh, and I can see you too," and started describing his shirt. And Eric's kind of did a double take, and she walked in, and it was a great moment.
I bet. Speaking of Aira, you have a new partnership with Aira. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that too?
So I met with Aira a couple weeks ago, and they started talking about some of the new initiatives that they're working on, whether it be the site access that they're rolling out, which is bundles of minutes that businesses can purchase for when blind or low vision customers come to a place of business. Their minutes will automatically be paid for by that business. I thought that was a tremendous step forward. Someplace like a hospital or an airport where sometimes somebody might need assistance to get through the facility, rather than having to continue to staff additional services. You know, an airport that has Aira available, it's a huge cost-saving benefit. It allows the blind person to know that they're working with a trusted agent, and it gives that level of autonomy and choice. If they want an employee to help, that's there, but they also now can start transitioning to Aira and more autonomous versions of travel and care. But then they said something that really intrigued me, which was that they were reaching out to employers to offer various types of support. And I jumped at that because I think one of the biggest things that we're facing right now is the high unemployment numbers in the blind and low vision community. And I'm always looking at ways that that can be helped or changed, especially from an employer point of view. How can we make this affordable, sustainable? And Aira looked like a really positive solution for those of us who are at our agency who are blind or low vision. We are able to bring in Aira and, for example, go to meetings across the state. And if the person at the meeting happens to not have mailed out the print documents, now I don't have to juggle listening to KNFB in one ear, JAWS in another ear, and the meeting going on around me. You know, I can have an Aira agent read me something, email it to me. There's a variety of ways and things that we can do here. And it tightens up our use of technology to support employment and independence. So I immediately jumped at the chance to make that part of our agency and to promote accessibility and best working practices for our agency.
So this essentially is MABVI, the employer, providing free minutes to its employees. And your application would be that which you just described out in the field, where you can take your glass or your phone out and actually apply it out there in real-time situations without any cost incurred.
Exactly.
And MABVI is the first employer to join this program with Aira.
Yep, we are the first official employer to be providing this to our employees. And we have quite a few blind or low vision employees who can take advantage of this at different levels. Some may need it to do daily job functions. Some may just do it as a demo. You know, the Vibrant program can now use it. Our occupational therapists can take it out when they see patients and demonstrate it if they want, or we can use it to perform our job function. So it's got a variety of uses and functions within our agency. The thing that really excited me was that our blind employees have a chance to use this to really help them beat some of the barriers that come with employment.
Yeah. Do you provide them glasses? Do you have Aira Glass to
We do.
offer them?
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah, we are very excited about it.
So we got breaking news.
You did. You got the first scoop out of anybody.
Yeah, I saw this evidence itself with the Memphis airport as the first airport to involve themselves with Aira on this, where you can enter the airport and tap into their Wi-Fi and get free access to Aira while navigating the airport, which is huge. And I've actually contacted the Jacksonville International Airport, as have many other Aira users, contacting their local airports and other businesses and facilities to get them engaged in the program as well. What an opportunity for businesses, particularly an operation like yours, but also for the individuals.
I want to see it come out in malls so that you can go shopping with it, or grocery stores, because I think a lot of us have had that experience where you walk into a grocery store and you need assistance and the store employee just doesn't quite know how to assist, or you have to stand there and wait for 30 minutes or something. I think having Aira in a retail environment or in a hospital environment where you have to navigate all those hallways to get to your doctor, airports, there's so many uses that this could be put to. Museum tours. I think the sky's the limit here, as long as businesses are aware of the potential for this and what it could do for them and the costs that it can save them. I think it's a huge opportunity for partnership and exploration.
I think you're right. The sky is the limit, because this is quite a unique initiative and quite a unique angle, but it makes perfectly good sense.
I can't wait to see how far Aira can take this technology, not just for blind and low vision people, but for all kinds of disabilities. Autistic people, whether an agent is on the other end of the Aira glass helping describe social context and emotion, whether it be for a developmentally disabled person hearing about job coaching for a student who is studying in college and just needs some assistance in class with translation, who might be hard of hearing. The potential for this type of technology, where it's pairing human-centered interaction with technology, is so disruptive and so innovative. And I say disruptive in the best kind of sense. We need disruption. We need something that takes assistive technology, makes it mainstream, kind of relies on universal design, but still holds that assistive tech element in place, and brings humans into the equation. I think it's the best combination of assistive technology and human-centered innovation going right now in the disability space. So I'm really excited to see where Aira goes. I do think Aira is redefining how people do blind, because it's giving us more and more autonomy. It seems counterintuitive to say that autonomy is relying on a piece of technology, but it's giving you the choice, whether you want to order your groceries via a website or a grocery delivery service, or you want to walk in and do it yourself. I joke that I got into an accessibility field in assistive technology because of tampons. Going into the store and looking for personal items, and you don't want to have a teenage boy who's really never dealt with the girl stuff helping you, yelling out to his boss down the aisle, "Where are the tampons?" So the whole store now knows your business. Now I can just walk in with my Aira glasses and quietly say to the agent, "This is what I'm looking for. This is what I need." She can help me reach down the aisle and find what I need. That is my autonomy. It's my choice to use human interaction or technological interaction to accomplish what I want. And I have more and more choices as we move forward technologically. There's no one right way to do blind for me. And this is redefining that, in that we have a variety of ways and options that work for us, and that all of those things are okay. We're all interdependent, whether we like to admit it or not. And the more that we can acknowledge that and support that with assistive technology and with humans coming together, I think the more that we're going to move forward in blindness rehabilitation as a whole.
Well said. Tell us about what tools you use in your day-to-day routine and in your business.
So I'm totally blind, so I am a huge voiceover user, screen reader user as a whole. I switch daily between JAWS, NVDA, voiceover, both on the Mac and on the iPhone or iPad. I use Aira, I use Be My Eyes, I use Seeing AI, I use KNFB. I kind of approach each situation and go, what is the best tool? And then I use the good old human help. And I use a guide dog who you're hearing in the background, sorry. I use any and every technology tool that I hear about and find kind of what fits into my daily habit or the situations that I find myself in. My goal is just to be as adaptive as possible and to be as flexible as possible in what I'll allow for an option to work for me to deal with the barriers imposed by society because of my blindness.
Awesome. I have a question for you. You attended college?
I did.
We do a lot of podcasts with people and talk about transitioning from high school to college to the workplace. What advice would you have for someone who is in high school today looking out towards their future and preparing to transition to college and the workplace?
Be creative, be flexible, and be open-minded. I think the more that you can embrace what's happening and what's changing in the world, and the more you can experiment with things, I think of dealing with blindness on a day-to-day basis as one ever-evolving, ever-changing science experiment. Certain things are going to work, certain things are not. Certain people will help you, certain people will not. And it's just evaluating each situation or each person as it happens and finding the solutions that are going to work for you. And just because they work for somebody else doesn't mean they'll work for you. So being open-minded and flexible with yourself and with the environments and situations you find yourself in is going to be your saving grace to get through college, to get into the workplace. That and looking at your blindness as a skill set. And that really sounds at odds with a lot of the mentalities that we are trained to have or raised with. But by that, I mean, when you walk in for a job interview, because you have lived day to day as a person with blindness or low vision, you have learned a variety of coping skills. You've learned to be innovative, you've learned to be flexible, diplomatic, a good ambassador and public speaker probably, as you've had to teach people how to work with you. You've learned to be creative, you've learned to problem solve, and most of all, you've learned to be an innovative problem solver and thinker about out of the box, out of context situations. And those are all job skills that are highly sought after. So when you walk in, you are really the leader in that interview. You are the one who knows you and your disability best. The employer doesn't know you. They don't know your disability. So you're the person walking in with the expertise. You're the person walking in with all of the keys that they need. So take that confidence and take that knowledge with you and help them understand and learn by knowing that you hold some of the power in that interview. I think we walk in with this fear and this frustration rather than with this powerful, confident presence that we have knowledge that they don't. And I think that can work to our advantage in a lot of situations.
I think prospective job applicants could probably type up what you just said, throw it onto their resume, be prepared to describe it in real life terms and have some confidence going in. That was outstanding.
Be a leader in your own life, disability or not. I think any college student needs to hear that. Be a leader in your own life because you have knowledge and expertise about yourself, your skills, and your ways of dealing with problems that your employer needs to know. So if you walk into a job interview knowing that and knowing that you have that power and they don't, that takes a lot of the fear of interviewing and disability discrimination and stigma away.
Well put. I love your perspective.
Absolutely. Ditto. We are speaking with Sassy Outwater. Sassy is the director of MABVI, that's the Massachusetts Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. Sassy, any final words for our listeners?
Check us out at mabvi.org, MABVI.org. And I think the biggest thing that I would leave you with is that innovation doesn't happen in bubble by itself. It happens when we all pitch in as a community. The blind and low vision world is very segmented by distance and geography, but we are one in terms of the work that needs to be done to help us all succeed and deal with the barriers that we individually and collectively face. So don't be afraid to find where you fit into that and to pitch in, because your skills, your expertise, your knowledge, and your hands and time and financial contributions are all hugely appreciated and needed. So find where you fit into the community and where you can give back and help out and help yourself, and please do it. We need to all come together to deal with this, especially as the blind population of seniors, the silver tsunami as they call it, will be doubling in the next 15 years. There's going to be so many more of us who need those of us who are already here to be able to adjust to that. So don't be afraid to share what you already know and what you can do from an advocacy and activism perspective. We all need to come together to get through this.
Now, is MABVI available for anyone in Massachusetts?
Yes.
What's your geographical appeal?
We are throughout the state of Massachusetts, and we have a couple of initiatives that are nationwide. If you are a runner and you're looking for a guide, check out unitedinstride.com. United in Stride is a match service that matches blind and visually impaired runners with guides across the U.S. We provide training. We teach race leaders how to incorporate blind or low vision teams into races. All different kinds of resources are available up there. So we definitely have a few things that are also nationwide, but we are definitely statewide for Massachusetts. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to get in touch with us. If you have questions for me, you can reach me at S as in Sassy Outwater, OUTWATER at MAB, MAB, as in Mass Association for the Blind, community.org. soutwater@mabcommunity.org.
I just received United in Striders tips on running with a sighted guide.
Yeah, we're putting out a video tutorial on how to teach guides. We're matching more and more people. We're partnering with different agencies across the country. We have this huge Healthy Active Living initiative going on right now, MABVI wide. So we're really excited about where United in Stride is going and what we can continue to do to support the blind athletic community.
Well, I just want to add that thank you very much for all that you guys are doing out there in Massachusetts, and hopefully this is contagious and other states start to do the same thing.
Yeah, we're working on it. We can't wait to see what keeps coming.
Well, I think the agency is in good hands with Sassy
Thank you
Outwater.
very much. I appreciate that.
Thanks so much for chatting with us, Sassy. It's been a pleasure. Again, everybody can check you out on your website at mabv.org. That's MABV as in vision, I.org. Thanks again, Sassy, for chatting with us, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you guys. Have a great day.
This concludes our conversation with Sassy Outwater, brought to you by Aira. You can check out Aira on their website at aira.io. And for more podcasts with a blindness perspective, check us out on our website at www.blindabilities.com. We're on Twitter, or download our free app from the App Store. That's 2 words, Blind Abilities. Thanks so much for listening, and have a great day.
When we share
what we see through
each other's eyes, we can then begin to bridge the gap between
the limited expectations and the realities of blind abilities.
The realities of blind abilities.
For more podcasts with a blindness perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com, on Twitter at blindabilities, download our app from the App Store, blindabilities, that's 2 words, or send us an email at info@blindabilities.com. Thanks for listening.